Center, and here are the by now familiar starting lineups for the Blazers and the Lakers. And Joe Crawford, Terry Durham, and Ronnie Nunn. Glenn Rice, 21 points in Game 4, his best performance of the playoffs. Kobe Bryant with the fadeaway, and Pippen comes over to block it. Pippen into Rasheed Wallace, looking to go to work on AC Green. Bryant cheating over to try to help, but Rasheed hits off the glass.
And conversely, what Portland has done is go to Rasheed Wallace against AC Green. This time he delivers. All the games he's gotten off to a great start against AC Green. He loves that matchup.
He had 34 in Game 4 and played all 48 minutes despite a bad ankle. Shaq over Sabonis. Hit the side of the glass, but it bounces right to Bryant, who puts it in.
See, that's the problem with Stoudemire guarding Kobe Bryant. They missed a shot, and he goes in and gets the offensive rebound. As a smaller guard, you've got to block him out.
Here's Steve Smith. And his three makes it 5-2 Blazers.
Two confident possessions that time for Portland. The first in that play, you get Rasheed Wallace with a nice post play. Steve Smith with a jumper. Good start.
But they've had good starts before.
Can they stay consistent throughout? That's been the whole key.
Kobe Bryant into heavy traffic. Ball knocked loose. Stoudemire's got it. Pippen to the front court with him, and Scotty finishes.
When I spoke to Scotty before the game, he says, Doug, we got to get off to a great start, but at the same time, we've got to do it in such a way so we don't expend so much energy. I would think right now they would consider this a good start.
Smith on Rice. Jumper over him. Rebound knocked around into the hands of Stoudemire. Rasheed Wallace in deep. Shaq comes over to help, and that's big time help. Rasheed Wallace goes down, no call. Pippen drives through, and there is a whistle.
You can see any time that Scottie Pippen does not have Kobe Bryant on him, he feels like that he can break down the LA defense. That time he drove right past Ron Harper, got in the lane, and got the foul. This is the Scottie Pippen that we saw in games 1 and 2 here at the Staples Center, making things happen early.
The risk the Lakers have been willing to take in having Kobe Bryant guard him is that Kobe might get in foul trouble. With Kobe on him, he made just 9 of 25 combined in the 2 games in Portland. He missed them both. Harper swoops in and scores.
We don't see that often. Ron Harper breaking a man down off the dribble, especially Scottie Pippen at half court, all the way to the basket.
Pippen out of the double to Sabonis. A long two, no good. O'Neal, who prides himself on his ball handling skills, brings the dribble to the front court. And a whistle from Joe Crawford, an offensive foul on the Lakers. It's number 1 on Glenn Rice.
Ron Harper breaks down Scottie Pippen, goes all the way to the basket, uses his off arm to shield Rasheed Wallace so he can't jump, and with a strong finish from Harper in Portland averaged 15 points in those games, a big 18-point Game 4, and then the clincher, that game-winning shot in Game 3. So he had his 2 best games of the playoffs, Bob, just when they needed him on the road.
Foul here on Kobe Bryant. That's his first. Sabonis. Shaq gave him a little room. He shot an air ball. Glenn Rice on the line to O'Neal. And the pass actually went in the basket, it appeared.
We have to see that. It looked like Shaquille guided that ball into the basket, was in the cylinder. They gave that basket to Glenn Rice. I think that should be offensive goaltending. That ball was in the basket.
Stoudemire's jumper is off. Sabonis is on the offensive glass. And O'Neal is called for goaltending at the other end for getting a piece of that as it descended. So credit the basket to Sabonis. There's no question that what Rice was doing was trying to pass to Shaq, but his pass went in the basket.
Now the question is, did Shaq guide it down in the cylinder? That ball looked like it was in the basket. As we see here, Portland knocking the ball loose once again.
The ever-present Pippen was the guy who knocked it free. Sabonis again. Misses the three. Pippen flies in and rebounds. Follows and scores.
That's a great effort by Scottie Pippen. Had the ball, took off from about the three-point line and got to the offensive backboard. A delay a game call now against Portland. First one is a warning, the second one is a technical.
Trailblazers up 11-6. Bryant with the smaller Stoudemire on him. Spins to the baseline, and Ronnie Nunn says, hold on.
Let's take a look at the play. Glenn Rice is going to throw the ball up. It's going to go right towards the basket. Does Shaq hit it? Yes, he does. That should have been offensive goaltending. If they give that basket to Rice, how can they do that with Shaq guiding? Almost identical now to games 3 and 4 in Portland. Once again, the Blazers have gotten off to a great start.
Here's Ron Harper. Up top to Bryant. AC Green left alone. Misses it badly. Glenn Rice is there to rebound. Ball knocked away from him and cleanly taken by Stoudemire. Rasheed Wallace again against AC Green. And the tip by Scottie Pippen.
Well, we talked about in Game 4, he was going to have to come out and put his fingerprints on the game from start to finish. He's doing that right here again. Offensive rebounding, deflections, doing it all here to get him started.
He has 6 of their 13 points. O'Neal, jumper over Sabonis.
That's a tough shot. Sabonis got him out of the lane. He didn't let him lay it in or dunk the basketball, forced him to shoot a shot.
Shaq led the league at 29.7 per game. In the playoffs, he's averaging almost exactly that, 29.5.
Shaquille catches it on the block. Now, you don't want him to come to the middle. You turn him away. Wallace comes over, helps so he can get into the lane. And Sabonis did his job there. That's just a great play by Shaq. That's where he's improved his game, being able to make that little jump shot.
Foul at the other end was Harper's second. And Pippen takes it to the hole after the Blazers inbound. He scored 8. He's disgusted because he didn't get a foul call on top of it. He wanted the three-point play.
Well, they're going right at Kobe. They're forcing him to defend against Pippen, trying to get him in foul trouble. And Scottie right now is getting the best of that battle.
And Joe Crawford stops play at the other end. That's Sabonis' first.
This is what you want a guy with 6 rings to be able to do. All the little intangibles. This is 2 offensive rebounds now that he's put back for scores. Then he posts up against Kobe Bryant. First team all-league defense. He turns, 1 power dribble, and the strong finish.
Harper gets it back from O'Neal and hits the 3. How about this guy?
Well, he was 2 for 10 from the three-point line going into tonight's game, so he is giving them offense that they don't expect from him.
What tonic is he drinking? Sabonis into the paint for Wallace, but a foul on Portland.
And he's got a technical. Joey Crawford gives him a tee. This is a guy, you got to get away, Rasheed. You cannot get thrown out of this game tonight. Now, who's over there? Scottie Pippen once again, so you got to back away from this.
This is the first technical he's been hit with since he was thrown out in the 3rd quarter of Game 1. He played games 2, 3, and 4 without incident.
Sabonis has got to grab him and get him away. He's continuing to talk to Ronnie Nunn. He's inside that three-point line. If he would have missed the free throw, he would have got to shoot another one. You cannot be inside that three-point line when a guy's shooting a free throw. Here's the play. Wallace is going to be posting. See if he gets his arm and pushes off. Right there, he shoves off, creates contact. And then there's the demonstration. I don't know exactly what he said. But again, this is a guy who doesn't have a whole lot of leeway, Bob, with technical fouls. We've seen that already this series.
So his first personal plus the technical. Bryant's spinner is in and out. And here comes Steve Smith with a flip to Scottie Pippen. Scottie on the move against Kobe. Could have been a 3-point play.
See, what happens with the Blazers when they stop the Lakers and they don't let him shoot a high percentage? They can do this. They can rebound it and run. Scotty has the ball on the run. This is when he's at his best. Now, when the Lakers shoot a high percentage, Blazers take it out of the basket, walk the ball up the floor, and play against the set defense. That's why the large disparity in the second halves in Portland. The Blazers have not been able to stop them defensively.
With Bryant picking up his second foul, he sits, and Brian Shaw, having completed his one-game suspension, checks in for the first time in Game 5. So Kobe scored 2. Pippen is looking for his 10th right here.
So what they're going to do now, they'll move Glenn Rice over on Pippen, and again you see with Brian Shaw coming in the game, Phil Jackson loves big guards. He's going to keep Derek Fisher on the bench, probably to match up against Greg Anthony.
Pippen goes for the steal, doesn't get it. Harper drives, got up in the air, ball knocked away from him and out of bounds, and the Lakers will keep it.
Big question, Bob. Can the Blazers sustain this kind of energy for 48 minutes? To do so, that bench has got to come in and perform. Exactly what we talked about in the open. The starters are getting it done right now.
A cynic might say the Lakers have them right where they want them. Glenn Rice missed it. Green on the offensive glass. Shaq in the lane. With the left hand no good, and then he can't recover it.
You know, it is amazing the energy that the Blazers start with. They go at Shaq, and it's like he wears their whole team down. Let's see what happens as the game goes on. Does he start converting those?
Wallace against Green. Nice pass underneath to Stoudemire, and he was fouled by Shaw. Another potential three-point play with the ball just barely spilling off the rim. Damon Stoudemire, the 1996 NBA Rookie of the Year when he was with Toronto. Looking for his first points of the night. And you can log on to NBA.com and follow tonight's Lakers-Blazers game with Sync TV, the ultimate online companion to each NBA playoff broadcast. This unique component provides fans with real-time stats, polls, news, and the ability to interact with special guest hosts and other fans online. NBA.com Sync TV, your cutting-edge way to follow NBA Playoffs 2000. Trailblazers by 7. Harper left alone for 3. O'Neal on the offensive glass, powers it home.
And that's the toughest part about with Shaquille O'Neal. When he's not scoring with primary offense, he's such a powerful offensive rebounder. Bobby's the best offensive rebounder in the league. He can get points that way.
Steve Smith, jumper against Shaw. They wave it off. Basket doesn't count. Foul before the shot.
There's a lot of different ways in this game to score. You give the ball up and you go to the offensive board. He gets his leg caught up on Sabonis' shoulder. Great balance by Shaq to gather himself the powerful finish. So he's off to a slow start when you talk about 4 points and 2 rebounds. But his presence will be felt as this game goes on. When the Blazers go to their bench, Brian Grant, maybe Jermaine O'Neal, can they do the job that Sabonis at least can do with his big body up against him? And you can see the bench graphic. What's happened as this series has gone on. Minutes played and total points in the first couple of games. Look what's happened with the Blazers. Then as it's gone on, total minutes, Lakers. Total points, Lakers off the bench. That's what I was talking about. If Portland's strength is that they're deeper, they better show it tonight.
Following a rare free throw miss, Steve Smith hits the second one. Shaw, little hook over Stoudemire.
Whoever Stoudemire is playing, they're going to post him up because they know that the Blazers will have to double team. That's how you get extra shots, extra rebounds, when you get them scrambling on the defensive end.
Stoudemire into the lane, tries to answer with the right hand and missed it by plenty. It's still Portland ball, though.
Ironically, the only game that the Blazers have won in this series, Stoudemire did not score a point. He got in foul trouble, did not score a point, and played only 11 minutes. He would like to show that he can play heavy minutes, and this team can beat the Lakers.
He's got it back from Pippen. Little floater as Shaq comes out at him. Spills off. Here's Shaw again. It rattles out. Rasheed Wallace, who had 13 rebounds on Sunday, pulls that one in. Stoudemire yo-yoing that dribble, then lobbing it for Wallace, who couldn't quite control it. Harper gets into the lane and scores!
Ron Harper. This guy might be playing the best basketball at the right time for the Lakers.
Scottie Pippen with a remarkable shot to switch that ball at the last instant to his...
All he's doing is embarrassing, trying to show us up. It's easy. It doesn't have anything to do with Rasheed. It would be Joe Klein. It's what Joe Klein did.
I know that. All I'm saying is that a call that's a tough call for somebody to take. I mean, the response. I mean, it's just a natural response of who, me.
No, it's not a natural response. It's a what did I do? You're picking on me. It doesn't have anything to do with that, right?
Now, the bench doing well doesn't necessarily mean they have to come in and score points. What they have to do is defend and then let other things come to themselves. So bench scoring is not necessarily the big key.
O'Neal working on Sabonis. Doesn't get the roll, but Ori grabs the rebound. Back underneath, and in emphatic fashion, O'Neal slams it down.
How athletic is that? I mean, this man, we talk about his power, but his grace, his explosiveness, his ability to catch and finish those plays, that should be illegal.
If he was 6'1" and 190 instead of 7'1" and 325, I think he could still play and play well in the league. Here's Wallace, and he's fouled at the other end.
You see, it's such a tough cover on Shaquille O'Neal because you got to try to take his position away, and when he feels you, he rolls off of you. I played against a guy, all the great Knicks fans will remember Earl Monroe, who used to do that all the time. Now, not dunk, but he would feel your body and spin off of you to get that quick little jump shot. Great players feel you defensively and go to an open area.
How sweet was Earl of Pearl's game?
It wasn't sweet when I was growing up. That was a nightmare.
Different perspective.
Yes, I had a look that I did not want to have.
Rasheed Wallace is averaging 23 points a game in this series. This despite being thrown out midway through quarter number 3 of game 1. A minute and a half remaining in the first. Wallace trying to give Portland a 4-point lead.
The free throw attempts here are big tonight. When Portland won the game in here, they were 35 for 45, shot 25 free throws in the first half here. They've shot 11 already in this first period, only 1 for the Lakers. That was on the technical free throw.
O'Neal from Ori. Ori clears the boards. Shaq's got it back. The ball is knocked away, and there's no foul apparently. It's just Laker ball out of bounds. An incredulous O'Neal is helped to his feet.
He just cleans out space inside. That's actually a good play by Scottie. He got that ball on the way up, knocked it loose, and then you see the sense of urgency in the Blazers. And Scottie Pippen knowing that every loose ball can be the difference between winning and losing tonight.
And now Jermaine O'Neal, a forgotten man in game 4, comes in for Sabonis.
Now, I like this substitution because he's bigger than Brian Grant. At least he maybe can block a shot or play up against him. Brian Grant is just so overmatched. Maybe Brian Grant can come in as a power forward and be more effective.
There is Brian Grant, still awaiting his chance. O'Neal played about 3 seconds before picking up his first foul. Laker ball out of bounds. And again, they look for O'Neal. Fisher, Harper, left all alone. Shaq grabs the rebound. Again.
Soft hands, quick off his feet, got up a second time faster than anybody from the Blazers.
Steve Smith out to Jermaine O'Neal. There's contact, and the block is on Harper. And that'll be 3 on Ron Harper.
When you block Shaq off the board, you can't back into him. You have to turn and face guard him and try to push him out of there. Now watch, little piece there. Jermaine O'Neal gets a touch on it, but Shaq right back up again. But when you play against Shaq, Bob, you cannot conventionally block him out. You got to turn and face guard him and try to get him out of the lane. You're just not strong enough to be able to hold your position against him. He will walk you underneath the basket.
Let's check with Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. Talking to Scottie Pippen about Jermaine O'Neal. Scottie says Jermaine O'Neal is one of the toughest players that they have on this entire team. He said during practice, nobody can handle him. He said that in order for them to try to beat the Lakers tonight, Jermaine O'Neal is going to have to put in big minutes. And he said what he can do is make Shaq work on the other end. And also, on the other end, he's got such good defensive ability. On that last shot, you saw that Jermaine O'Neal at least got a piece of that first shot that Shaq took. Bob?
And Ahmad, just to follow that up, he has speed and he can make Shaq run the floor too.
Fisher had it squirt out of his hands. Anthony grabs it. Scottie Pippen takes it home. And let's see if the basket's going to count.
That called the offensive foul on Scottie Pippen. The question was going to be, was the guy in the little dotted line area? Let's watch the feet. He beats Kobe. Or he is standing there outside the little dotted line area. That's a good play. You can see, though, Scottie is attacking the basketball every time he gets the basketball.
Shot clock and game clock close to identical. And a whistle from Ronnie Nunn. That foul is Greg Anthony's first. So Derek Fisher will shoot a couple. Fourth-year man from Arkansas, Little Rock connects. Tomorrow night on Dateline, they're the most exclusive and expensive cars on the market. But can they handle the crash test? Find out if you're paying for safety or just luxury. Dateline NBC, Wednesday night at 8, 7 Central on NBC.
We can already see some changes in what Mike Dunleavy's thoughts are. He comes in with Jermaine O'Neal. It's his first substitution. Jermaine O'Neal must sit down now with fouls. Detlef Schrempf now in the game. He did not play at all in Game 4. And this is a guy who's been to the finals when he's with Seattle, and he can give them something off the bench. We still have not seen Brian Grant in the game yet. We'll probably see him maybe to start the second quarter, especially now that Shaq sits down. Let's see if Brian Grant comes into the game. This is when he could be effective.
Fisher trying to draw the Lakers to within 2, and he does.
And you can see also the matchup. The moment Anthony came in the game, so did Fisher. So both coaches want them matched up against each other.
Anthony on the move. Already got a piece of it. And a foul on the play, which comes with 2.7 seconds to play in the first. It's Glenn Rice's second. Bonzi Wells getting set to check in. Greg Anthony, he and his wife Crystal recently welcomed their first child, a son they named Cole after the jazz great John Coltrane. Kobe back in, saddled with a couple of fouls.
2.7 seconds to go. Obviously, they'd like to maybe throw down here long to Kobe, see if he could catch, maybe get a quick shot against Steve Smith.
Anthony missed. Ball poked free. Fisher heaves it at the buzzer. And meanwhile, over on the Portland bench, they're looking at Scottie Pippen, who had a big first quarter. But they've got an ice bag on the inside of his left leg. Bonzi Wells in for the first time, gives it up to Detlef Schrempf. Here's Rasheed Wallace. Horry guarding him. Wallace takes it to the bucket, tries to tap up his own miss on the third try. There's no doubt about it.
Great effort by Rasheed Wallace. 3 efforts on that one play to finally get the score. The thing I like about it, he finished it off with 2 hands. Went up and got it and mashed it in the basket.
Surveying the situation, gives it up to Fisher. Cross court to Bryant. Off the dribble against Bonzi Wells for the jumper. Rebound Wallace.
Now Portland wants to run. They want to run against this Laker offense. This is when defense. This is when they can score.
Bonzi Wells and Joe Crawford spots a foul. Looks like it's on Rick Fox.
Rasheed loves to post on this side of the floor because he can spin baseline and try to finish it. The second effort, then the third effort, two hands, and the power finish. So Rasheed Wallace once again going to work on that low block.
Bonzi Wells guarded by Kobe on the drive, lays it in. That's his first field goal since game 2. He had 17 in the opener, 12 in game 2, 0 for 6 from the floor in the 2 games in Portland.
Well, with Kobe having 2 fouls, they're going to make him guard, and they're going to make Bonzi Wells post up down there. We saw it with Stacey Augmon earlier in the series. Kobe's going to have to play with these fouls.
Derek Fisher playing with more confidence of late. No hesitation. He drills the 3. And it's the Blazers by 3. Rasheed Wallace hit it. Before the game, he was standing in that very spot, and I watched him hit 9 in a row from that very spot. No doubt in his mind it was going to be catch and shoot there.
Well, he made 8 all season long out of 50. Remember now, 3 in a row in game 2 to break the game open in that third period.
Rick Fox answers with a 3 of his own.
How about the shooting of Shaw, Fisher, and Fox off the bench? 44% from 3 from Shaw, 40 from Fisher, and 50% from Fox. They are shooting the ball exceptionally well.
Bonzi Wells, Fisher over to help. He strips him, but a foul.
God back at the Staples Center where the Blazers lead the Lakers 38-30. Earlier, Scottie Pippen suffered an injury to his left hand. He dislocated the ring finger of his left hand. He has since been putting ice on it, but he will return in the game. Bob?
12 in a row dating back to game 3. It's not unprecedented for him, though. Twice, when he was with Orlando, he hit 12 for 12 in a single game. And just for the sake of perspective, Wilt Chamberlain, who statistically was a worse shooter over the course of his career than Shaquille O'Neal has been in his, the night Wilt scored 100 points in 1962, he was 28 of 32 from the free throw line. But we didn't signal the end of his woes as a free throw shooter. It was just a great night. But here, look.
He's going to continue to have his up and down, Bob. There's no question about that. But right now he's making them, and that really discourages the Blazers because in a late game situation, they're going to make him make some free throws if it's close.
Here's Rasheed Wallace. Can't quiet the crowd. How often does a pair of free throws bring a crowd to its feet, as those two did? Here's Oren. That might have brought the roof off. Pippen. Detlef Schrempf. Got it for Portland.
See, Detlef Schrempf has the ability, because he can shoot the ball, to give you that little up fake. You have to guard him, and then he can take it to the basket and a little floating finish. That's a nice play.
LA has missed its last 7 shots from the floor. O'Neal rectifies that.
Is this not a carbon copy of what we saw in Portland? The slow starts by Shaq, and just little by little he gets you deeper and deeper in the post and starts wearing you out in there.
Steve Smith slings it to Schrempf. Baseline Rasheed Wallace. Kobe takes it, and here come the Lakers. Taken away from him by Pippen. It's 1-on-2, and it was touched last by the Lakers.
Kobe very upset with himself. He makes a lazy pass. You cannot do that around a guy who's second all-time in steals in playoff competition. Looked like Scottie here when he put that ball in his left hand where it was dislocated, that he had trouble handling the basketball. We'll have to watch that. Remember, the first time he came in, he made a bad pass. So that could be very tender as this game wears on.
John Sally's going to come in, replacing Shaquille O'Neal. For a moment, Robert Horry thought he was going out, and Sally reached back and grabbed him and said, "Stay here." How do you figure this?
He looks like he's a little winded right now. I think Phil's going to give him an opportunity to catch his breath. Let's see if Brian Grant, now into the game for the first time, can get on those offensive boards. Another turnover here by the Blazers. That's really killed them in this series.
Rick Fox will try it again and miss it. Another rebound for Scottie Pippen, who seems, as always, to be everywhere. Grant, jumper over Ori, no good, but Sabonis is there to tip it in. How much different is the paint when Shaq isn't there?
Well, it's so different, and that time Sally comes over to block the shot also, Bob, and right there Sabonis goes and gets the easiest basket he's had in a long while. Since
Utah.
Yes.
Bryant, a step inside the three-point line, no good. Smith ran over Fisher. And an offensive foul.
Here's Sabonis right here. Now watch what happens as Sally goes over to try to block this shot. When he turns in, nobody there to block out Sabonis. A little tippy-toe tip in there for two.
John Sally out, and Shaquille O'Neal, after a very brief rest, back in.
Brief, I guess. Zach wants to play all 48. He doesn't want to sit over there. He'd like to get this series over. He gets 8 days rest if they win tonight.
Forget about catching your breath. Can you even wipe the sweat off in 52 seconds? Play stopped as there was a wristband or something on the floor. Lakers trail by 8 as they put it back in. O'Neal's pass intended for Bryant goes astray. Portland tries to inbound quickly.
Now Sabonis has got to stay out, so if Shaq helps, he can spot up and shoot this little jump shot.
Steve Smith, Shaq comes over to deflect it. Kobe Bryant pushed it up short. Nothing but black shirts underneath.
Kobe's out of sync on the offensive end. Going too quickly tonight.
Contact between Rice and Schrempf off the ball. And that's number 3 on Glenn Rice.
Shaquille O'Neal is right here. He's going to go back. He's got to keep his spacing. And then Steve Smith has got to be able to swing that ball out to him. Sabonis will be wide open for that jump shot. They've got to make Shaq pay for going back in that lane and guarding back in there and blocking shots.
Phil Jackson has to get Glenn Rice out, replacing him with Rick Fox. Steve Smith back to Sabonis for 3. A whistle as he let it go. And it goes against the Trailblazers.
Going to be an offensive foul on Steve Smith as he gave the basketball up to Sabonis shooting a 3. He pushed off. So again, the turnover starting to mount. He posts up Fisher and then hooks him with that left arm going to the boards. Fisher, one of the best in the league at getting position, drawing the offensive fouls, and he does a great job of drawing it to the referee's attention.
Kobe Bryant. Contact, and he'll come to the free throw line. Kobe is just 1 for 7 from the floor in this game.
I don't like the rhythm that Kobe's playing with. He's going for the knockout punch in the first quarter and a half, and that has not been the Lakers' style. The Lakers' style has been take the Blazers' best shot, hang in there, and then really go at them strong in the second half. I think Kobe is just a little out of sync right now.
The foul was Brian Grant's first.
Well, remember now, in game 1, they didn't need his offense because Shaq had the big game where he went for 41. So that game, he was not needed to take a whole lot of shots, only took 9. Actually, in the first 2 games, took a total of 18 before he came out and doubled that with 18 in game 3, where he really kept him in the game in that first half.
Brian Grant's open. That's the shot he wasn't eager to take in Portland, but he didn't hesitate here.
Well, they need him because he's really the guy who gives them the energy and spirit. And what a matchup for him to try to play against Shaquille O'Neal.
Terry Durham spots something and stops play with 2:56 to play in the half. And that's number 2
Scottie Pippen holding his hand, and Bob, I've watched him now as he has come back from getting his hand hurt. He has not taken a shot from the field, but more importantly, I've seen him mishandle the ball 3 times in this period. Normally, Scottie does not make those kind of errors.
Portland's lead is 3. Nice pass from Wallace inside, and a whistle as it's received by Pippen. An illegal defense was called against the Lakers. Shaq was illegal on the play.
Well, Mike Dunleavy, after Game 4 in Portland, was really complaining that Shaq was illegal a lot in that game, and it was not called.
As good as he is, in a sense, he should be illegal.
That's right.
Here's Wallace. He's pretty good, too.
You see why you don't want him shooting those long jump shots. He can get that shot when he wants to. If they double, kick it out, and somebody will shoot a wide-open jump shot. Let him go through you offensively.
But when you've made 5 of 8 threes, including your last one in this game, you kind of fall in love with it, right?
That 3 becomes an insidious thing.
Kobe Bryant slices through and lost it.
Good
No
there.
foul call.
Good by Scottie, though. He looked up at the clock. He said, let's get the last shot. The worst thing we do is go in 5, maybe 7 or 8 here.
Detlef Schrempf, only a couple of seconds. Scottie's got to get it away for 3. Oh, how big is that?
His first shot of the period. He buries a 3. What a momentum here for the Blazers. While the shot is in the air, the halftime horn sounds instead of a 5-point lead in 8. It's all created by the penetration of Schrempf. He makes the great pass. The Lakers collapse. Scottie, the ball gets in the air. It's a clean shot. He knocks it down. Has
Been in this situation before. Can you feel a little comfortable?
No, not at all. I mean, we ought to come out the second half and play the way we did the first half. Be aggressive, take the ball to the basket, and stay aggressive defensively. We tend to slack off a little bit in the second half, so it's going to be up to me to go ahead and get these guys ready to go to the second half.
And your fingers, I understand you dislocated both your fingers, 2 fingers on your left hand?
Yeah, I dislocated him on that layup that they gave me the charging foul on, which, you know, I felt like he was inside the dot, but, you know, the officials make the call and they're not going to change it.
Is it affecting your ball handling or your shooting?
No, I don't think so. It hasn't yet. I'm trying to take the ball to the basket, so it shouldn't affect no layups.
All right, Scottie. Good luck in the second half. Be more aggressive and also stop shooting themselves in the foot with turnovers, Bob.
Ahmad, thanks. Here we go. Quarter number 3. Arvydas Sabonis lets fly and starts it in fine fashion for the Trailblazers. He was just a step inside the arc. It's a 2-point basket and a 10-point Portland lead.
and a great start for the Blazers. You want to see Sabonis knocking that shot down again to open that lane up. Just to follow up with Ahmad, the Lakers took 13 3-point shots in the first half. They normally average 13 per game.
Kobe Bryant still can't find the mark. It bounces out of play. Portland ball.
Kobe got a couple early fouls, and I thought in that first half he really went fast. He was out of the tempo that he normally played with, almost trying to hit the knockout punch there in that first or second quarter.
Kobe is 1 for 8. Sabonis thought about the hook, then realized who was guarding him. Here's Pippen. Rebound Bryant, and then Rice scoops it up.
Mike Dunleavy's going to really have to manage this second half. No surges for the Lakers. He's going to have to use his timeouts wisely.
AC Green. It's short. Harper tried to save it and did off the body of Stoudemire.
Now only 2 seconds on the shot clock. They love to throw a lob to Shaq. If you help out, they'll put Green, Rice in the corner to shoot a 3, or Shaq right into the basket for a lob.
And it goes to Kobe from the baseline, and he beats the buzzer.
Just overpowered Stoudemire. Just come right to the basket. Just too big.
And maybe the J that he needs to get him going. Sabonis screening for Stoudemire. Now he has it back. Sabonis, left 3 by Shaq. Misses it. And as Pippen goes after the offensive rebound, Ronnie Nunn says, stay right here. The foul is on Kobe Bryant. That'll be 3.
Bob, one of the things we've seen tonight is Scotty has really been active on those offensive boards. He had 2 in the first half. Both of them he stuck back for layups.
Pippen working on Bryant, knowing he's nearing foul trouble. Ball squirted free, but Sabonis has it. He tries the hook, and that's the first time that I can recall in this series that he's been able to do that.
Yeah, we don't see it much more. Normally he just sort of sits out there and shoots that jump shot. I think he's concerned that Shaq can block that little running hook shot because he doesn't get great lift on his jump.
And the few times he has tried it prior to that, it has been shoved back in his face. 5 seconds to shoot. Kobe will for 3. Don't let him get started if you're Portland.
Well, you made a great point. At the end of that shot clock, he hits a jumper. You talk about him being a rhythm shooter. He shot that one with great confidence.
Stoudemire gets in, but Harper says get it out. Pippen picks it up.
That's going to be Kobe's 4th foul.
Could be. And it is.
Well, this really hurts because Kobe finally got into the flow offensively. The save by Ron Harper squares him up and again shoots over the smaller Stoudemire. So 5 quick points. Phil Jackson leaving him in the game, but he slides down now to play Stoudemire with 4 fouls.
In the first 2.5 minutes of the second half, Kobe has made a couple of baskets, but also tacked on a couple of fouls. And another foul against LA. This time it's AC Green who's the guilty party. That's his first.
Now why is Bonzi Wells coming in the game? I'll tell you why. They're not going to let Kobe Bryant hide. See, he wouldn't have to play Stoudemire in the post. He's going to have to play Bonzi Wells down there, so they're going to go right to him in the post. Remember, with foul trouble before, Stacey Augmon, one of the games, really punished him down there.
So here is Bonzi, taking it into the paint, spinning and missing. Harper rebounds. Pippen and Bonzi Wells all over him. And a Portland foul. It's Bonzi, and it's his first.
Now, one of the things that Bonzi Wells is going to do, they're probably going to double team him. So when he gets down there, he's going to have to be able to pass out of those double teams, not look strictly for his own scoring.
Lakers trail by 7. Glenn Rice. Wallace got a piece of the ball, but also a piece of his body.
Remember now, game 4, Phil Jackson came out of halftime. We're going to run a primary play here, and we're going to get Glenn Rice a jump shot. He curled in the lane and got a 3-point play. We played a little over 3 minutes. Rice finally gets his first possession here. He's going to get to the free throw line, and he really struggled in that first half at 1 of 4. He and Ron Harper combined for 39 points, which is the real difference with Kobe and Shaq struggling.
He misses the second one. Scottie Pippen threw a crowd out to Steve Smith for 3. AC Green has it. Lakers can cut it to 4 with a basket here.
I'm really shocked that Kobe's still in the game right now with 4 fouls and they're within 6 points. If he gets the 5th, that could really be a blow to the Lakers. Phil must have a lot of trust in him right now, Bob.
Shaq out of the double to Harper. Contact, no whistle. Touch last by Portland.
I guess with a 3-1 lead, you can take more chances, right?
Phil's been known to do some unorthodox things. And a sizable percentage of them seem to work out. O'Neal off the dribble. And play is stopped for a Portland foul. It's Sabonis, and it's his 3rd.
Remember now, in game 4, the Lakers shot 31 for 34 from the free throw line, and Sally missed 2 of those free throws late in the game. Tonight, there are 14 of 15 here in the first half, so what was a weakness has been a strength in these last couple games. They won game 4, and it's keeping them in this game.
Pippen out on Kobe. Here's Harper driving on Wallace and letting it in. Pippen tried to set up and take the charge against his old teammate, and the officials weren't buying.
Well, Joey Crawford was kind there. That would have been a block on Pippen because he was in the dotted area, so it was a no call.
Bonzi Wells out to Sabonis. Good look at it, and he puts it down.
The double team by Shaq. He comes over to help Kobe because they go in the post and they got to protect him with.
Lakers put it back in play, trailing by 6. Kobe Bryant traveled. And look how quickly Scottie Pippen grabs the ball, hands it to the official. They want to get it in as quickly as possible and try and catch the Lakers before they can regroup defensively, but it didn't happen that way.
Now, keep your eye on Sabonis. If they're going to continue to go in the post and Shaq is going to help defensively on Kobe, Sabonis is going to have to continue to shoot the ball. 3 for 3 in this quarter with 6 points.
Bonzi Wells testing Bryant. Shaq has it.
He's got to get that ball up. He's shooting 1 on 4 in there, Bob. Pass the ball.
Harper out to Green. Now Kobe. Juggles it. Ball loose. Pippen chases it down.
And Kobe has to be very careful about picking up an offensive foul when he drives to the basket. That would be his 5th.
Rasheed Wallace makes the catch in the paint, and there's a whistle. Number 2 on AC Green.
If Bonzi Wells doesn't get it done here, remember Stacey Augmon had a big quarter against Kobe Bryant. He's very comfortable down there in the post, so he's going to give Bonzi a few more touches here, but Sabonis could be real key shooting this ball.
Green comes over to help for a moment. Steve Smith up top to Pippen for 3 just before the horn, and another dagger from Scottie Pippen.
2 in a row from Pip. The ball in the air, clock goes off. 6 points. Those are big 6 points for Scottie at the end of the clock.
Kobe Bryant playing catch with Shaq. He spins by Sabonis, and once he gets in that far, you might as well wave the flag of surrender.
You've got to get your foot on the out-of-bounds line if you're the defender. Use that as another defender. Make him come to the middle. That's where your help is.
Bonzi Wells got his own rebound. Pippen again. And Rice will take it. In deep to Shaq, an immediate foul.
When you have championship experience, you know that clock and you know how vital possessions are, especially in a big game like this. Scottie looks up, he sees the clock, he gets it off just in time. You see the shot clock expires, nothing but the bottom of the net. And again, that's 6 points on shots like that for Scottie. You look up, they're up 7. So you see how critical those makes are.
The foul a moment ago on Sabonis was his 4th. Now Brian Grant comes in. He's truly a power forward, playing out of position at center, out of position against any center, let alone against Shaq. Here it comes, and there it goes, right down the chute.
Shaq is so comfortable playing against him because he knows he can't challenge his shot. Now remember in the first half, Mike Dunleavy went first with Jermaine O'Neal, then came in with Brian Grant.
A whistle away from the ball. And Ron Harper picks up his 4th.
When you know you got the advantage, your eyes get real big. Shaq says, give me the ball. I got great position. I got the size. I got the touch.
And he's got 19. Lakers over the limit. Scottie at the line where he struggled tonight. 2 of 5. Hits that one. He has 19. Tying Shaq for game honors.
Again, Bob, we talk about this with Scottie Pippen. This man is playing so hard to keep his team in the lead. And what we've seen in the 4th quarter, that's taken its toll. We have to watch as this game continues on. We're getting close to that 4th period. The Blazers clinging to a 7-point lead.
A little bit of pressure from Portland. Bryant eases it into the front court. Harper out of the corner. It almost popped back in, but eventually Wallace has the rebound.
Scottie wants it against Kobe.
Instead he goes low to Wallace. Shaq with a hand in his face, but the foul on O'Neal apparently, his 2nd. No, make it his first. My mistake. His first.
We talk so often about the NBA being a game of matchups. Scotty knew he had the advantage on Kobe, especially with Kobe having fouls. So he gets the ball, forces the double team. Wallace goes right to the basket and gets fouled. That's good basketball.
Playing virtually every minute in the last 2.5 games, Shaq has a total of 6 fouls. That was his first tonight. Saturday at 3 Eastern, NBC begins its coverage of the French Open, presented by BNP Paribas. Last year, Andre Agassi came from 2 sets down to claim the championship, became only the 5th man to achieve the career Grand Slam. Now Andre and the top men's and women's players are set to battle it out once again on the famed red clay of Roland Garros. The French Open coverage starts Saturday at 3 Eastern on NBC. Kobe with Bonzi Wells on him. In deep to Shaq against Grant. And forget about it. Plus the foul.
When you put Robert Horry in the corner and Pippen is guarding him, it's hard for him to get back in Shaq's lap because Horry can shoot the 3. Watch Scotty has to come out, and then look where Shaq catches the ball. The importance of Robert Horry being able to make the shot, even though tonight he is not shooting the ball well. The threat of him doing it forces Pippen to come out.
Al Attles, who coached Golden State to the title in '75 and who played with Wilt and who knew Shaq's father years ago, said recently, you know, I've resisted comparing Shaq to Wilt. But now I really have reason to compare the two. That's a great tribute.
Yes, it is.
If you know Al Attles at all, he is a no-nonsense guy. He's not throwing bouquets just to be nice. 3-point play. 4 for 5 tonight. 16 of his last 17 free throws, and almost all of them are swishes.
The poise of the Blazers will come into question right now. This is where they have to execute.
For 3, it's Smith. That's execution.
What a big shot by Smitty. Now remember, in the game they won here, Game 2 of this series, he had a big third quarter, scored 11 points, had 24 for the game, hit a couple killer threes late in that game. That was a big shot. Keeps the lead at 8. That's where it was at half.
Wallace trying to help Grant with Shaq. Grant just battling like crazy to deny him position. He fouled him. It could have been a 3-point play.
I've always felt that Steve Smith was one of the best clutch shooters in the NBA. I remember when I was coaching Detroit, he had a big one falling out of bounds in Game 5 to eliminate us in the first round. And when you let him get his shoulder square and get set like that, he's going to make a very high percentage.
Portland has hit 6 of 11 three-pointers in this game. The Lakers, 4 of 15. Now Mr. Automatic is back at the free throw line.
Mr. Automatic. Look at his concentration. He is really in a great rhythm right now. And you know what people don't realize about him, because he never really talks about it. He goes to the gym late at night and shoots free throws, 11:30 at night. I remember Dennis Scott was in here at Game 1 of this series. Dennis Scott played with him in Orlando. He said they were shooting free throws at 11:30 the night before Game 1. He knows what it's all about, and he's starting to get some results.
That's just his second miss of this game. He's hit 5 of 7. Brian Grant, Shaq flies out on him, but too late, and he hits it.
Don't hesitate. He's shooting the ball well tonight. He had 2 in the first half and then tried to pass one up. You got to make that jump shot.
Shaq is in his head to a certain extent, and can you blame him?
No, not at all.
Pippen over to help. Shaq passes out of the double to Fox. Now it's Kobe. Snaps it underneath to Fox, who can't finish it. Blazers touched it last.
The Blazers are scrambling on every possession, because every time it goes in to Shaq, they have to double team. When he kicks it out, they have to get out of the double team and then go back once again once he catches it.
Inside to O'Neal, and again, even 2 people aren't enough. He just powers through.
Well, you know you're good when you know it's coming and you still can't stop it. That's the frustration.
Scotty. Flying out to get a piece of it was Ori. But here's Smith with a clean look. The rebound to O'Neal. Sneaking back, Robert Ori.
Robert Ori challenged the shot, and Steve Smith fell down, and he just ran to the other end. Remember I said Mike Dunleavy's got to use his timeout. No big surges. The crowd is into the game. I like this. I like this timeout. You got to try to diffuse this crowd.
I'm almost at the point of telling you guys, go inside every time down. Figure a way going inside before you start shooting the ball.
Kobe Bryant's out. Brian Shaw is in. Wallace's turnaround is good. Wallace has not had a particularly good shooting night. He's now 5 for 15.
Nothing better as a coach than to call a timeout, come out, have your team execute it, then your all-star player hit the shot.
Rick Fox, Detlef Schrempf guarding him. Here's Ron Harper, cut off by Brian Grant, slides past him, and hits a nifty reverse.
Well, Scottie Pippen wanted walking on that play, felt like that Harper picked up his pivot foot. Kobe Bryant on the bench. What's going to happen here in the last minute 44?
Steve Smith against Shaw. Jumper over it. Got it.
Good low post player. Nice little spin move there by Steve Smith. Has the size advantage over Shaw.
Smith, who had a very quiet first half, has a big three and that basket in the third quarter, and he scored 9. Shaq with the flip in the lane, intended for Shaw, they lose it. Here comes Pippen, 3-on-2 if they push it. Scotty to Wallace, and Fox fouled him.
The Blazers are such a different team when they can get in the open court. In this period, the Lakers are shooting 62%, which means that they have to play more half-court offense because they're taking the ball out of the basket. Any steal, any rebound, they look to attack. And Bob, if they can make these 2 free throws, they'll be up by 9 points, which means they've survived this rush and actually gained a point in this quarter. That would be very big.
Unlike the third quarters in Portland.
Now, if you're Mike Dunleavy, you got about 1:21 here. Do you think about trying to give Scottie Pippen any kind of rest at the end of this quarter? Then you've got the timeout for him to get some rest. But you know what? He's not going to get much rest tonight. He might have to play it all the way out.
Got them both. Pressure in the backcourt from Portland, and Pippen picks it off.
There's that steal by Scotty. They'll look to attack.
Rasheed Wallace isolated against Ori. Backing in. Nice pass to Schrempf, and Detlef Schrempf makes this an 11-point game.
They changed the double team. Fox came. The minute you get double teamed, you cut to the basket. That's exactly what Schrempf does. He's played a nice game off the bench.
Shaq. His pass is deflected. Pippen trying to save it. And does. It'll belong to Portland.
Rasheed Wallace, when your man comes to double team Fox, what do? Go right to the basket, and a great pass and an excellent finish. That's good offense.
Portland's on a 6-0 run. Five on the shot clock as Wallace backs in. Here's the jumper.
Hold it out.
Steve Smith grabs it.
You get the last shot here. Scotty doesn't need to take it. You can go in. The worst thing you're up, Bob, now is 11. You score, it could be 13 or 14.
Scottie Pippen to Steve Smith. Good look at a three. Schrempf has it, and he's fouled with 1.3 on the clock.
Great play that time by Schrempf. Just a recognition that when you get that rebound, you got to get it back up. And how big would that shot have been by Steve Smith? It would have put him up 14. But as it is, if Schrempf can make both of these, it'll be a 13-point game. 13 seconds to go. Lakers still have a chance to score.
Steve Smith was completely alone and couldn't hit the three. Bryant, a spectator for the moment.
But see what Mike Dunleavy's done in this period is this is a little rest it's going to be for Steve Smith. But see what he's done? He's played deadlift shrimp with Steve Smith and Pippen. So he's gone big back there. He did not bring in Greg Anthony. He has Stoudemire in the game. This is when Portland's at their best, when they're bigger in that back court and on that perimeter.
.3 to get off a shot. Fox from midcourt. He scored 21 points. Tonight, 1 for 4, 4 points. Here he is with the ball against Schrempf. Horry looking for Shaq. Sabonis back in is on him. Here's Fisher. Straight away for 3, and it's off.
I really like this lineup that the Blazers have right now. With Derek Fisher in the game, he's got to guard a bigger post player. Bonzi Wells has the advantage, and if Shaq helps, Sabonis can shoot it. So be aware of Sabonis now if Shaq double teams in the post. But you got a small guard out there defensively right now.
Schrempf finds Grant. He shot an air ball, and that makes it a 24-second violation.
I don't like Bonzi Wells out on the floor handling the ball as a post passer. Fisher can smother him. Get him on that block. Let either Scottie Pippen or Detlef Schrempf be the passer.
O'Neal out to Fisher. To Rice for 3. And a whistle on the rebound.
That's going to be on Sabonis. They said that he pushed Shaq in the back. That'll be his 5th personal foul. That's a big foul right there because they need the presence of Sabonis out there. The shot's going to go up in the post. Now, Shaq is going to have inside position. Let's watch Sabonis. He grabs him by the right arm. I don't know. That's a touchy foul with all the contact that's going on in there right now.
Immediately they go right into Shaq with Sabonis sitting. Not that they won't challenge Sabonis, but it's even easier when Arvydas is out of the lineup and Shaq scores plus the foul.
Well, so much has been made about that the Lakers don't have a backup center. They don't need one. Shaq plays almost the entire game. The problem is Portland really doesn't have a backup center. I mean, that's unfair to ask Brian Grant to play that position against him, but really Mike has no other chances or choices unless he's going to go. As we see Joe Klein there, he is not on the roster. They were worried about Greg Anthony's foot, so they activated Gary Grant. They went with another guard rather than a big guy.
And Grant hasn't played at all. At least not when it's mattered. Here's Wells laying it up and missing, and Horry grabs the rebound.
Remember that miss right there. Instead of 12, it could go to 8 or 7 with a 3.
Horry had a golden opportunity and missed. Rasheed Wallace back to Pippen. Returns to Rasheed in the paint. And if it's Kobe, then that'll be 5 on him, and it is.
Now that's a power move. That wasn't a flip. That wasn't something you're going to go in there and try to lay up. You're going to try to dunk this ball. You got a smaller player on you. You know Shaq's going to try to come over. Power dunk that basketball. It's a great effort by Rasheed Wallace. But we got to give him credit. He has not had a great shooting game, but he's made big baskets. That timely basket coming out of timeout when the lead had been cut to 5.
And 10 rebounds to go with 17 points now.
And Phil is going to keep Kobe on the floor with 5 fouls.
Going back to your earlier point, of course it's easy to second guess, but a lot of people would have said even before the series began, why not activate Joe Klein and have extra fouls to use and another big body, a true center, to at least suck up some minutes against Shaq.
Well, I talked to Mike Dunleavy about it. He said we were worried about being able to get to this position, and we felt we needed another guard in case Greg Anthony went down with the injury.
Kobe Bryant, a variety of moves.
That's an offensive foul. He was going to call offensive foul on that play. Let's see what he's going to get here.
The Blazers are pleading for the foul. That would foul Kobe out, but it doesn't go that way.
Boy, I thought Ronnie Nunn was going to throw that arm out for an offensive foul. That would have fouled Kobe out. Let's watch his off arm here. Now watch as he hangs in the air. Watch his left arm right there. And Mike Dunleavy is upset. Look at him. He knows that would have been it for Kobe Bryant.
Instead, it's on Rasheed Wallace, his 4th.
I don't see how that foul could have been on Rasheed Wallace. If you want to say Bonzi Wells from behind, maybe. But Kobe threw his left arm out there against Rasheed Wallace.
Perhaps the Lakers caught a break. But they still trail by 10 with 10 minutes remaining. Scotty nearly traveled.
Here's the matchup again. They want to go to Bonzi Wells. Now, he has not delivered down there when they've needed him.
Detlef Schrempf. Shot clock winding down. It's Bonzi Wells. And Shaq takes it. He pegs it ahead to Kobe. He's got Rice on his right, and they wrap Kobe up. They're going to count that. They're going to count that on the continuation of the Blazer bench. Is livid.
Calls.
Kobe can't complete the three-point play.
I'm telling you, if I'm Mike Dunleavy in that timeout, do not shoot a jump shot. Drive the ball to the basket and make them blow the whistle and put us on the foul line. Go to the basket right now and go to the foul line.
Rasheed Wallace. Detlef Schrempf. Inside to Grant. Brian Grant scores +1. You and Dunleavy were on the same wavelength.
Well, let me tell you something about these officials. You know, they're going to miss some calls. But let me tell you what, they also know, and as a coach you know, that these are very professional guys. They don't want to make mistakes. So don't give them an out by shooting a jump shot. Go back and put the pressure on them. That's what you do as a coach.
The foul was Robert Horry's second. The three-point play by Brian Grant ups the lead to 11. Here's Kobe Bryant. Shot clock down to 3 now. Derek Fisher. And the rebound to Brian Grant.
Attack the basket. If you're Blazers, keep the pressure on. Do not settle for long jump shots now. You got some matchups out there in your favor. Shot clock's winding down. Shrimp's got to get it up.
1 second as he lets it go, and Shaq has the rebound. Here's O'Neal against Grant. Wallace arrives with the help, but they can't do anything about it.
Just a frustration if you're Brian Grant. You play great position, you just get overpowered. The man's got the heart of a lion. But, you know, he's trying, but Shaq is just too big and powerful in there for him.
Pippen spins into the paint and hits that little hook.
Now remember, at the end of game 3, Scottie Pippen got very aggressive. If Kobe's going to play him, you got to go to Pippen.
22 for Scottie. And Bryant traveled. That's the 6th turnover by Kobe Bryant tonight.
And we saw the face of Phil Jackson. He's getting concerned. You're going to go inside to Scottie Pippen. He forces the contact. Wheels in a little jump hook. If it works once, go back to it once again. You double team. Look for the 3 from Steve Smith.
Here's Rasheed Wallace. And Shaq snatches it. Off to Bryant. Kobe takes it in himself. To the floor they go. And it looks like a jump ball. Aren't getting much help from other precincts.
But I tell you what, if you're Portland, you'd much rather see Ron Harper out there as you would Kobe Bryant. That's not a good shot by Detlef Schrempf. You don't need that shot right now. Use the clock, get something inside.
Rice, Horry, Fox, and Fisher, a combined 4 of 21 among those 4. Speaking of Horry, he lets it go, and he raises his arms toward the ceiling as if to say, finally, finally.
He had only made 1 basket when he ran out when Steve Smith fell down. 8-point lead and a long time to play.
Rasheed Wallace, off-balance shot, And he hits it.
Oh, that is so good. You come across the middle and you hang in the air like you're a small guard. Again, Wallace with a big basket to stem the tide.
He's got 20. Ori tries another. Can't hit it. It comes up short, but Harper rebounds. Rice for three. Shaq chases it down. Rice again. You'd think one of them would go, but they come up empty.
And Glenn Rice, after the big game 4 where he had 21 points, is really struggling. 1 of 7 tonight. They have done a great job identifying him out on the floor. Now is when your stars win basketball games for you. Rasheed Wallace time.
He kicked it away. Portland turnover.
That plays into the Blazers. They might hit a couple or whatever, but that means that Shaq is not touching the ball.
And what happens when they do go deep? Shaq has hit his last 7 shots. He's got 30 points and 16 rebounds.
Kobe Bryant back in the game.
They're looking for Shaq.
3 seconds.
A 3-second violation.
Now, you got Kobe on Steve Smith. In game 2, they went to him in the post with Kobe having fouls, and he delivered. Let's see if they go to Smith in the post on Kobe.
They do. He tried to find Grant, and Harper, always an alert defender, steals it. And Pippen, another great defender, knocks it away at the other end. The old guys still have a few tricks.
The great hustle you see. Scottie Pippen saying, don't foul him, Steve. Good communication there.
Bryant for 3.
And another 3. That's 5 for 24. Shaq not touching the ball. The Blazers have 4 fouls. You're shooting free throws the rest of the way, and you're shooting long jump shots.
And you're no longer afraid to have Shaq on the line.
Steve Smith's got to attack right here. He's got to go.
Terry Durham saw something, and if what he saw is Kobe Bryant, he will see the rest of this game from the bench. That's his 6th.
This has been maybe Kobe's worst playoff game that I've seen him play this year. Got out of character early in the game, tried to do too much, got in foul trouble, and yes, he has 17 points, but that's not a good 17, and I know Kobe's disappointed. I know this young man very well, but you know what? If you're going to guard him with Steve Smith's going to be in the post, you got to throw him the ball, and Steve Smith does a great thing. He locks him up and puts the onus on the official to make the call.
So now Brian Shaw will have to play some very important minutes.
Now they'll go to Steve Smith on Brian Shaw.
Here it is.
If Ori helps, watch Wallace shoot the jumper.
But Shaw committed the foul. And that's 4 on him. 4 minutes and 37 seconds left in the 4th.
And both teams shoot free throws here out. Steve Smith, an excellent free throw shooter. Go back to him once more. If he gets fouled, he'll shoot 2 free throws.
There's the whistle. Phil Jackson, placid as ever on the bench.
Steve Smith has great footwork down on the post. He doesn't have great lift now because he's got bad knees, but he's tough to guard down there. He pumps you up in the air and gets the foul. Now critical free throws here with 4:29 to go.
Brian Shaw has played 6 minutes and committed 5 fouls. Up by 11 tomorrow night in primetime. More NBA Conference Final action. The scene shifts back to Indiana. Game 5. The Knicks and the Pacers even up at 2 apiece. 9 Eastern on NBC.
Well, I'll tell you, Indiana's got to be kicking themselves. They were up 2-0 in that series. All the injuries in Game 3, but I tell you what you saw in New York. You saw a very proud team, and when they're wounded, they appear to be at their best.
And we're seeing a proud Portland team here. Pippen reaches in and fouls Harper.
Well, Scottie doesn't want to do that. He does not want to stop this clock and put Harper on the foul line. Right now, you want to force them to use as much clock as possible. Scottie's got those long arms. He's going to reach in, try to deflect that ball. Got a piece of it, but he also got a piece of Ron Harper. Scottie not happy with it. Bob, I'll never forget when I was coaching the Chicago Bulls and we came in the draft and 1988, actually 87, after my first year there, and got Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen in the draft. How excited you were knowing that there was something special on the horizon going with Michael Jordan. Needless to say, about 10 years later, he had 6 rings.
And look how he fills up a box score. He has 22 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 6 steals.
And what did Chuck Daly call him? You had that line last time.
A fill-in-the-blanks guy. Whatever needs filling in the box score to help you win a game, he'll do it.
Well, I tell you what he'd like to fill in tonight, a W.
An 11-point difference as the clock ticks down toward 4 minutes.
And how about the minutes that Shrimp has played tonight? They've gone big on the perimeter almost the entire second half. We've seen very little Stoudemire and no Anthony.
Rasheed Wallace against Horry with a sweeping hook that's good.
Abdul-Jabbar. That was more of a subway hook, though, than a sky hook.
Right. That came from an entirely different angle. They try to find Shaq, and they lose it. They peg it ahead for Scotty, but he'll circle back out.
Smart play. Use some clock. You got a 13-point lead. Go to your strength there. Go back to Rasheed Wallace. Let him make a play against Horry.
There it is. This time the hook won't drop. 17 rebounds for Shaq.
No layups for Shaq now. Even as good as he's shooting free throws, no layups.
The jumper for Harper.
About still plenty of time. Portland cannot let up here. They cannot have careless turnovers. They must get a good shot every time down the floor and balance the court and give up no easy layups.
Harper rejuvenated in this series. Now here's Rice with the steal. Backs up and takes a 3. And Grant rebounds. They're not so late in the game that that's necessary.
Not yet. Not yet. But again, Scotty with a little careless turnover there, no possession. They could not get a shot. 9 threes. It's exactly what the Blazers want.
And they've made, as you saw, one of them. 2 minutes and 49 seconds from Game 6.
I tell you, I really like the lineup that Mike Dunleavy has used tonight. He's playing Brian Grant out there together with Rasheed, with Sabonis in foul trouble. Kobe is fouled out of the game, and he's played big in the backcourt. He's put Detlef Schrempf in Game 4. Detlef has been great. Scotty, Steve Smith, Rasheed. This has been a great game. Now can they hold on here the last 250?
O'Neal right back out to Harper, who has scored 14. Derek Fisher. The lob underneath for Shaq. Grant got a hand on it, batted it to Pippen. Laker turnover. You mentioned Detlef Schrempf. How good has he been? 8 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. Here he is with the ball, dumping it into Smith.
You got the matchup. Shaq's going to help out. Somebody's going to be open.
Scottie Pippen gets to the rim. Kind of ad-libs a shot and misses it. Shaq inside. He was fouled and the shot won't drop. He'll shoot 2.
Well, Scotty got just enough of his arm there that forced him to miss that shot. Shaq was going to go up and power dunk that one. Scotty was upset on the play, thought he had gotten fouled, finally got back in the play late, and just enough to be able to grab Shaquille's arm. You're going to see it right here. Grabs him on the elbow and knocks the ball loose just enough to miss the shot.
He's 6 for 9 now at the line in this game. 30 points, 18 rebounds.
But the difference is, other than Harper, who's had a good game, Glenn Rice has been very, very cold. They got really nothing out of Kobe, although it says 17 points. He was out of sync. Robert Horry shot the ball poorly. All the guys who played well in Portland struggled at home tonight. Sally getting ready to come in. It looks like Phil is going to take Shaq out the last minute or so of this game.
Steve Smith brings it out to Brian Grant for the open jumper that's short. Shaq with his 19th rebound. Fisher for three. That goes. And makes it a 10-point game with now exactly a minute and a half left.
Remember the last time the Blazers were in here and they won, Bob, Phil called them a bunch of jackals for winning at the end of the game. Well, I tell you what, they have played well tonight, and they have got to be excited about getting this thing back to Portland now.
Robert Horry lays it in. That makes it an 8-point game.
Get the ball to a good free throw shooter. Get him Steve Smith's hands.
You called it. They double him. Out to Scotty. Back to Smith for the turnaround. He doesn't hit it, and the Lakers are alive.
Well, they score here. It's a 6-point game, possibly a 5 if they hit a 3.
Fisher hands it to Shaq, and Schrempf reaches in and fouls him.
Phil was going to take Shaq out of the game. It looked like he had thrown up the white flag that it was over. All of a sudden, the Lakers come down. They score quickly. Looks like John Sally might be coming back to the bench right now. He probably will leave Shaq in.
Well, Sally continues toward the scorer's table. Maybe it depends on whether he hits both of them here. He's got the first.
This game is not over. We acted like this thing was done, but the Blazers have been known to get careless, and we've seen it. The Lakers are going to come up and they're going to try to trap. The Blazers cannot turn the ball over. Get the ball to a good free throw shooter, and then you got to make your free throws. Now don't throw it to Brian Grant. He's not a good free throw shooter. Keep it to Schrempf, maybe Steve Smith.
And it was Schrempf who was fouled as he released the pass. Shaq, and it is very, very hard to criticize anything he does these days. He's such a splendid player. He has missed 3 of his last 4 free throws as the Lakers tried to mount a late comeback. If he'd made those, if he'd made all of them, they'd be within 4, but that's a whole lot to ask. And now he will sit down, and John Sally is in for the last 35 seconds. Schrempf keeping it interesting. Tomorrow night, Game 5 from Indianapolis. They're tied at 2 apiece, the Knicks and the Pacers, 9 Eastern Time.
If you're Mike Dunleavy, you're basically saying if we can get one stop, if we can stop them this time, the game is over. If not, it's still extended.
Harper with the fake. He's got a good look at it. He misses the 3.
That's it. That's
Smith rebounds. And now the Lakers back away, and they won't even foul.
Now, if I'm Portland, I walk off this floor like we expected to come here to do it. And, Bob, I'm going to steal a line from you. Portland was going to go home tonight. The question was going to be, were they going to drag L.A. with them? The answer is yes.
Perhaps unexpectedly, yes. Unexpected in many quarters, but that's the case. Something else to keep in mind. If Portland can win at home on Friday, and that is a very big if, because the Lakers have won the last 3 games they played at the Rose Garden. But if somehow they get it back here, Portland knows they can win on this floor. They've won 2 of the 3 games in this series on this floor.
Little words exchanged by Scottie Pippen and Phil there, too. As Phil walked off the floor, Scottie was looking at him.
Scotty, a tremendous game for your ball club tonight. I know you were concerned coming in that those 2 losses at home maybe had done some body blows to your team, but you came out and played hard tonight.
Well, I never worry about us on the road. We tend to play much better on the road. We play much smarter basketball. We play harder, and we realize the odds are against us right now. So, I mean, we came out and responded well, and we have to continue to respond like this.
What was the difference in the 3rd quarter? You guys were not only able to sustain the lead, but today you actually even increased it by the end of the 3rd quarter.
Well, I think we just made a conservative effort to come out and do the things that we did to start the game. With me getting on the offensive glass, Rasheed staying aggressive and not, getting too lax and sitting back and waiting on the double team, just continue attack, and that's what we did throughout the whole game.
And defensively, how were you able to keep the ball out of Shaq's hands in the 4th quarter?
Well, it was tough, but, our guys came in to utilize their fouls to their advantage, and, Shaq got going in there deep, but, he's a dominant player, and, just luckily we were able to keep a cushion lead where it wouldn't be a factor.
All right, you guys live to fight again. We will see you Friday night in Portland.
All right, thanks. We're bringing it home.
All right, back to